Hi everyone. As we start, Hi everyone. As we start our new year in chemistry, I'd like to go over the syllabus that I will show in this video. The syllabus is also stored in our Schoology account in our Welcome to Chemistry folder. Let's start at the very top here. What are we going to study in chemistry this year? And here I've got the units that we're going to talk about. Intro to chemistry, measurement, matter, thermal chemistry, etc. The ones I want to point out for just a moment are the two that have the most math in them. That's thermal chemistry and stoichiometry. The others don't have all that much math. And even when I say they have the most math, it's not difficult. It's just simple algebra, and there are a couple equations we have with 3, 4, 5 variables that we'll put together. And in the thermal chemistry unit, the stoichiometry unit, we string a couple different factors together. I promise you, it won't be hard. I'll work with you. We can get through this easily enough. I just want to give you a heads up before we get going. So let's talk about some of our course logistics. There are several things I do want to talk with you guys about here. And the first one is our weekly schedule. I'll switch over. Our weekly schedule is going to look like this. So in a typical week with chemistry, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we're going to have some new content or lecture. So on those days, I'll have a video uploaded into the folders for those days. And I'll ask you to watch that video. And at the end of it, there will be a very quick set of questions, 3 questions with about 6 points. And all these are not meant to be hard. It's just meant to say, hey, are you paying attention? Are you learning a little bit from the content for that day? Wednesday, we will have a practice day to practice what we've learned in those first 2 lectures of the week. And this will be synchronous. And by that, I mean I will be online with you during your assigned period. Right? So instead of just going into Schoology and watching a video, I'm going to ask you to enter Schoology, and I'll have you join a conference for that day, a Schoology conference for that day. And we'll meet together, and I'll go through any questions that you might have. I'll do a couple examples. The whole idea is to get some time to work together to try to make sure that the material is understood, and I can make it clear anything that is not clear. Thursdays, we will have what we'll call this a lab day or office hours. And by that, I mean some days I'll have some lab demonstrations that I'll have on some videos to show to you. But I also have office hours in those days. The idea here is that if you have some further questions about what we've talked about during this week, you can meet with me. We'll figure out together whether I should do that as just kind of open office hours, meaning anybody who wants to attend can pop in, or whether I want to make it a little bit more restrictive and have that one-on-one. So we'll talk about that Friday. And finally, usually our week will end with a Friday. We'll have a quiz or an assessment for that day. And that's really just to go over the content that we learned this week. That'll typically be between 20 and 30 points. So a little more involved than the lecture questions that we've had up at the beginning. Here, I'm going to want you to do a little bit, show me more that you understand what you're doing in this quiz, as opposed to the lecture questions are more, did you pay attention to the content? Have you listened to it? Have you watched it? And that'll be our typical week in chemistry. We'll follow this structure as much as we possibly can. Obviously, some weeks won't work quite like this. All right. Now, it is expected in our week, anything that you've done, I want you to have that done by the end of day Friday. The whole reason for this is so that I can ensure some prompt feedback to you, and this is specifically with the quiz, that I can provide some feedback to you as how well you're doing. And it's also to keep you from falling behind. Chemistry is a harder subject, but it's getting it much harder when we do things online than in class, and I want to make sure you guys are keeping pace. If you have anything that's going to interfere with you being able to get some of your work done on time, you must reach out to me beforehand. We'll work something out so that this can happen, but I can't stress enough. Just talk to me. We'll figure it out, but do it beforehand. Don't come talking to me Saturday or Sunday about why you weren't able to get something done that week. I do understand some of you are working in various ways. Talk with me. We'll figure it out. The other thing I want to talk about here next is our participation points. And normally I wouldn't do this, but since we're doing the remote instruction, we're trying to figure out some way that we can ensure that we're meeting with each student each week. And that's what our participation points are designed to do. Also, I'm trying to help you keep up with the tempo of what we're doing in class. I want to keep you engaged. So Wednesday is the primary way we're going to earn those weekly points. And when you join me in the online, the interactive session, the synchronous session for that day, I'll take attendance and I'll just see who's there. And that's the way you'll get your participation points for the week. If for whatever reason you're unable to attend that Wednesday live class, that synchronous class during your normal class period, there are other options we can have you do. The main one would then be Thursday when we're during office hours. Hopefully you can come and attend those office hours and meet with me either one-on-one or as part of a bigger group. And we can discuss things. How are you doing? Are you understanding it? Or answer any questions that you might have. If you cannot attend either of those days, I need you to make other arrangements with me. Talk with me, send me an email. We'll figure out a way just so that you and I can interact to make sure that you're keeping up with the class and not having any challenges. Third thing here, I want to talk about Schoology. Everything will be found in Schoology. I'll show you an example of that in a moment. The whole idea is Schoology is set up that all of our weekly lecture questions and participation points must be completed. Right? So that Monday and Tuesday lecture questions and your Wednesday, Thursday, or talking with me and we get to figure out a different way, must be completed before the quiz on Friday will be unlocked. Very important. We don't want you just walking in and taking this quiz without doing any of the work ahead of time. That doesn't do you any good. Okay, so a quick example of what Schoology would look like. So in Schoology, when you click into your chemistry, you'll see at the top right now we have our Welcome to Chemistry start here. And that's what we're going to go through Thursday and Friday. Underneath of that, you're going to see something that says Unit 1 Intro, and we'll have another one of these for each unit that we go through. And it gives you an idea of what we're hoping to cover and what we're hoping to cover what days. Beneath that, you'll see folders that are for each individual week in here. And if you go inside of that folder, you'll see the structure that we kind of talked about in our weekly schedule I showed up earlier. At the top of this, we'll have a place to have any questions. This is a discussion. Hopefully you've used these. If not, we can talk about this on Friday. But a place for you to post things, questions back and forth. Any student can answer the question. I'll hop in and answer questions too. But a good way for us to have a dialogue that, since we're remote, not actually in class, we can have some questions and interaction that way. Underneath that, you'll see the schedule for the week. And then we have folders for each day of the week. And in this particular case, we can see on Monday, we're going to have a safety notes lecture. Tuesday, we'll have an equipment notes lecture. And then Wednesday is our live class. Thursday, we're going to have a Golden Penny Lab. And on Friday, we'll have a quiz on the safety and equipment information that we learned on Monday and Tuesday. If you click on individual folders, these won't be live until Monday. So right now, I just want to show you an idea of what it's going to look like. You'll see the safety notes. There'll be an embedded video here. And then underneath it, there'll be a little quiz that I want you to click on to go show us that you went through that. Just a way to help me make sure that you're keeping pace and give you a chance to follow up on any questions that you might have. So that's what a typical week in Schoology will look like. Okay, materials. Really, all I'm going to need you to have is access to Schoology, like I mentioned here above. And then you're going to want a spiral notebook or a binder, something that you can write or print notes on so that you can keep up and have something to reference, obviously something to write with, and just a non-scientific calculator. Grades will consist of our lecture questions, our weekly participation points, and then we'll have our quizzes and tests. If you miss an assignment for whatever reason, it'll be entered in as a grade book as a zero. And this will help you to understand, hey, this is something you need to get with me, you need to get done. I'm not going to penalize you, but I'm trying to show you, hey, you need to get this done. If you don't, it will stay a zero. Academic integrity. Obviously, we want everybody to do their own work and to the best of their ability. I will be available often to help you out with things, but typical school rules and policies will apply in regards to academic integrity. As far as communication, Schoology will be the main way. Schoology and email will be the main way that we're going to communicate. Schoology obviously will have all the materials and any videos and click references to conferences. Email will be more one-off. Do you have something you want to ask me? Or a way to me respond if it's outside of the normal class day. Office hours, I plan right now to have them being Thursday from 7:30 to 11 and from 12 to 1:30. Those will be times that my calendar will be open. And if you want to talk or have questions about anything, we'll find out. I'll have you set up an appointment or just join me during a live session. We'll figure out how that works based on some feedback from this Friday. If you have any questions, you can always, again, reach me at my email, my school email, yates.westerville.k12.ohu.us. Philosophy I'm going to skip over very quickly right now, so you can read that on your own. To succeed in chemistry, please, please, please remember, I want you to enjoy this class. Chemistry can be fun. Chemistry can be fun, but you have to put forth a little bit of effort for you to succeed. And if you don't put forth that effort, you're going to find chemistry really hard and confusing. So please put that effort in, and you're going to find some fun. We'll have some fun during the year. And one of the most important things to do that is to have a positive attitude. Yes, chemistry is going to be hard. I'll do my best to make it easy. If you work with me with a positive attitude, we can help make sure that that works together. Staying organized, number 2 here, will be very important. Very, very important. We're going to have a lot of stuff to go through. I'm going to try to help you staying organized by the way Schoology is put together. But this, you're going to need to do whatever you do with your notes. I want you to keep your notes organized as well. Okay, paying attention. Watching a lecture video and paying attention to a lecture video are 2 really different things. Don't just play the video and get to the end. I want you to pay attention, listen to it. If you need to stop something and repeat it to go over it, that's why we have a recorded video. You can do that easily enough. But please make sure you are paying attention. You're trying to absorb what I'm trying to get across to you in those lecture videos. And if after going through the video you still don't understand it, please ask me a question during office hours on Thursday, during our synchronous class on Wednesday. Toss me an email. Please ask me a question, and I will get back to you within a day on anything like that from an email. Do all of the work. This is important just to help you keep pace and to help reinforce the concepts we're trying to do. 5, don't cram. If you try cramming for chemistry, you're going to find it really hard. If you keep pace and do a little bit at a time, it'll all fall into place and it'll make sense. So please, please, please don't cram. And of course, when you need extra help, please go get it. Right? Help is always going to be available. During the synchronous class on Wednesday, we can talk directly on that. We can have more of a dialogue like we would in a classroom. Similar with office hours on Thursdays. Right? If it's outside of those times, email is the way to get a hold of me. And if we need to set up some time, we can do that and find a way we can get together and talk. All right. So please keep this in mind. Again, this is also posted on our Schoology website.